Hello and welcome back to Clayforge, where again I'm going to make a teeny tiny figure. Today I'm going to make a mythical creature or mythical person from my home area, the Vogtland in Germany. It's going to be the mossman. So first off, what is the mossman? In German language he's called mossman or mossmanel, and he is a mythical creature. You could call him like a um dwarf with magical powers. He's like a little forest spirit or fairy, and he's like wandering around the forest in the mythos, and he's like, if you help him, he's going to help you and going to reward you. If you're not going to help him, he might even punish you. So that's like a bit of background information. Let's look at what colors we're going to need for him. First off, we need some color for the skin. I took a bit yellowish skin color. It's a bit bright. You could also make it darker. Then something for his beard. I'm still thinking about making the beard gray or white, because he's supposed to be an old tiny man, so it doesn't really matter. At least he looks old. Then for his shoes, for his wanting stick, a bit of brown. For his shoes, of course, a bit of brown. For his belt, and then for his main part, his body, a bit of green, as he is mostly covered in moss clothing, and something for green pants. As for the people who might have seen my other videos on my channel, they know they are very long, so I already said on previous videos, I'm trying to make them shorter, as I don't have the technology to cut them. I'm filming all of this with my phone on a very simple stand, and I'm going to make a few pauses, and I'm going to show you the steps in between on how to make the different sections of the figure. So for the first step, I'm going to take my two green colors and I'm going to roll them into a kind of worm. Then I'm going to press this worm, making it a bit more even. And so if I'm cutting this now, like so, maybe shorter, maybe a bit taller if you want. And now you have your upper body. Of course, here is going to get a bit more detail, but that's all it for the upper body. Then we're going to do the same with the legs, and here we are going to cut here, and then we're going to cut the pants, the legs for the pants. So now I have cut on both ends of the pants, and now I'm going to cut in between. It's going to be a triangular cut, like this and like this, and then I'm going to remove the middle section. So now that's a difficult thing to just ask you to do. You better take one of these shaping tools. This one is from Female Professional, from the company Stadler, and it's quite expensive, so you can also use a cheaper version. I also have some cheaper versions which just don't really work that well. They're very dirty and they don't work for that long. They lose their sharpness on the edges. That one looks a bit weird because I cut it with my scalpel by accident and then I ruined it a bit. But now you're going to make these edges that you have, you can see them quite good here, you're going to make them round, because this guy doesn't have square pants, he's not Steve from Minecraft, so he's going to need a bit more smooth features. This is like already enough. I will make a bit more in the pause of the video, but you can already see it's not square, it's quite round, and that's how you get the pants. Later I will, with again the color of the upper body, make a bit of overhang over the pants, and then over that the belt. Now to two very simple parts, the overhang over the pants. I'm just going to roll this ball of clay into a worm. Then I'm going to use, you can use anything that's round and very smooth so it doesn't stick on it too much, the clay, and going to roll it out, and maybe smooth it out a bit with your hands, make it a bit longer just so it fits. Then you're just going to fit it on, and that's the overhang over the pants. As you see, I have to make it a bit longer, but that's the point with clay. You can always smooth it, drag it a bit, and it's not going to lose much of its shape. It's not going to break, and now it's already too much. Yeah, better make that better. For the arms are quite easy, I also would say. First make worm of clay again. The question is, how long do you want your arms? He's not an orangutan, so don't cut here. Don't let a sleeve end here. Maybe cut like here. So that would be like the height. A bit more maybe, if you need to cut something away later, that's not a problem. Make the arms with a similar length. And then, so the arms attach smoothly, so that doesn't look good, you can just cut away the edges. It's going to fit better. Now I finished this part for his overhang. For the arms, as you know, arms aren't just straight. They have an elbow and they have a bit of an edge. So you just take your modeling tool or anything that can make a dent. You could also take this part of the scalpel, maybe not this, it's too sharp, it would cut into the clay, and make the sleeve into whatever position you want him to be. If its hands is supposed to be straight, or his arm, of course, then you don't have to do that, but now you have an arm. Later I'm going to insert something on that so it doesn't look so plain on here, and then I'm going to add the hand. And as you saw maybe already, I made a tiny little dent, so this is like going to be the way that his clothes are buttoned up. I'm going to take maybe a little bit of bright brown to make a few buttons, but now I'm going to the shoes. Now I've already prepared a few things. These are going to be the shoes, the main part of the shoe. This is going to be the upper part of the shoe surrounding your ankle. This is going to be the belt going around the waist. And these are the arms. As I said, I'm going to put a bit of a sleeve on it and then the hands so it doesn't look so plain cut. And for this, you just press it a bit to the ground. It's already done. For the belt, it's like the same thing you did with the overhang of the upper part of the cloth. You stretch it a little bit and you already have a belt that you can wrap around. And for the shoes, you can of course make them very, very sharp in the front, so it maybe looks a bit more medieval. You can like bend it so it looks like this. You could just also leave it like that and it would also be perfect, fine, because it's a very small figure. It doesn't really have to be that detailed in the moment. Now as you can see, I attached the arms. I made a few buttons, 2 to be exact. I put on the shoes. They're very simple. And they're very flat, but mostly the back of a figure is not what you're looking at. It's the front, so I think that's okay. I wrapped around the belt. And now I'm going to use a bit of the green I have left from the pants and a bit of green from the upper body part with a bit of black and brown to mix another color, because I'm trying to make like not really a cape, but something that hangs over the shoulders to hide this nasty gap. I could blend this out with this modeling tool, but this works best on big figures, on very, very large figures, where you can, like this, it's already pre-baked, where you can really smooth it out and not destroy like the whole figure. As you can see, this foot is already as big as this figure. Here I can work very good on this and not destroy anything else, but here it's a bit difficult. Now, as you see, I made this piece of clay just mixed flat and cut a shape into it, again triangular, and that's going to be, you could maybe compare it to a European monk outfit, where you have this piece of cloth hanging over the shoulders, and being like a cape, for also something you can wrap over your head. And it's a bit dirty mixed, so it's not completely mixed, so it's a bit more like nature. Now I'm going to add a bit of texture, like making it look like a bit of moss, a bit of grass and everything sticking in it, being a bit dirty and everything, smoothing it out a bit. And then I'm going to make his walking stick, his hiking stick, whatever you want to call it, out of a piece of, it's a bit different brown, but it's still a piece of dark brown. And then we're going to the hat. So now, as you can see, I have his walking stick, fits right into his left or right hand, whatever you want to do. His head, it looks maybe a bit small at the moment, but with his beard it's going to be much bigger. Then his hands, they don't need to be that big. Then it's probably a bit difficult to see in this lighting. It's already after 10 p.m. in Germany. This is gray. Like this, it may look like a bit of white, but this is white, regular white. And I mixed it a bit because although I want to go with this old man look, he's often represented with a gray beard. And the last thing, the moss man, he often wears a hat made out of moss, and this is going to be his hat. It's very rough on the edges. It's not completely a circle, so it looks a bit more natural. So now for the walking stick, I decided to put this hand like gripping onto the belt, and this hand I squished the ball a bit onto this tool I have. This is a pointing tool for making eyes, making larger holes. And now I'm going to make his hand like he is holding it. This is roughly the size for like a bar one of these figures could hold. It's not going to be like this. If it would be real life, it would be more like holding a spear, but I think it's okay for a walking stick. Then you're just going to have to put this into his hand and put this on his sleeve. It can reach the ground if you want to. It can be a bit smaller, like grazing it into the air. I might be adding a little underground later for him to stand on, because in the oven the figures sometimes lose their grip and fall over. Sometimes they lose their ability to stand and everything, and then you can just throw them away. But if it goes all goes right, you have a figure that stands perfectly. But sometimes it's just better so they don't just fall over and you have one angle, one specific angle you need a minute to take. So I'm often using a underground. This could be like an underground. It's very big. I made it for a troll I have already made. He's like eating here, and you could like put a few mushrooms on it, and like for the grass you could use this modeling tool, make many gaps on the edges so it looks like grass. A fire pit, maybe a bit of water, everything you want to add you can add. But now to the beard. Now as you can see, the ball of clay used for the head I cut not in half, so but I cut a bit away so the head would fit. Then I made the beard. I shaped the clay a bit so it fits his head. Then made two tiny little worms with one pointy edge and one blunt edge, so to make the mustache. And now I'm just going to add his eyebrows. And now, after cutting even a bit more of the head away, it was still a bit too high for the head. The figure is done. I'm quite happy I kept the video at 14 minutes, and I think he looks quite nice. You of course can make a bit of more details, make him a cape, make his hair longer or something, but I think this is a good variant. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a comment if you like, subscribe to the channel. I won't force you. I know that my videos are very bad in quality and very, very long in comparison to what is in the video, but still. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I'm going to post a few pictures of older figures I've already made. There are no videos about them because I already made them and I want to show you the process. So yeah, have a nice day, or where I live, have a nice night. Goodbye.